Hi, I'm here today with Dr. Jamie Wisser of Actual Healthcare Solutions. He has been a multiple presenter at the HITLAB Innovation Summit. He's attended for at least 3 sessions in a row. And you kind of, first of all, tell us about your experience with HITLAB and how that has gone.
Well, I think HITLAB has, it was a little bit of an unknown entity when I first came, the very first, session, summit. And the exponential improvement in the experience, the exponential experience on my part as an innovator bringing our new technology to the world, the capabilities and the enhancing of our process have both been beyond expectation. My relationship with Stan Kashanowski, the director, has grown exponentially over the course of time, where we've become very good friends. But from a professional standpoint, he's just, he's tops. He's just wonderful.
Well, I think what Stan does is that first of all, he has a great eye for talent. And he's a pretty quick study when it comes to evaluating innovation and new proposals and the possibility of them integrating sometimes quickly and substantially into the modern health IT system. And in your case, he said, "Oh, I think we have a winner here."
Well, thank you. I mean, we've heard strange comments about what we've done in a very, very positive way. Mm-hmm. Venture Starters, which is the November's, teleconference innovator and investor matching weekly event, have labeled us a unicorn. Listen, I don't believe in that name. What I believe is that if people feel as though there is that kind of potential, then that makes opportunities open. Right. And so I think that the opportunities that HITLAB have created for us particularly have been extraordinary, and they're just increasing exponentially every time we come to one of these events. So to summarize, HITLAB has done wonders for us in particular, but we hope that we're doing something back, giving something back to HITLAB, which is, their need, honestly, mm-hmm. for successful innovations to get into the marketplace and carry that reputation that they've assisted with them, so that their label, their endorsement becomes more commonplace.
Mm-hmm. So where do things stand with your company right now as we wrap up this conference?
We are fortunately at a point where our initial platform, which is a patient-physician matching platform where health information is easily exchanged, and the referral process between specialty doctors and primary care physicians who do the referrals, or patients who are trying to get to see specialty physicians. That whole process is digitized and accelerated, almost like a matching program, where we sort of balance the playing field, where doctors have the ability to review health information in advance and be able to decide, yes, I am the doctor who can help this individual, but if I'm not, I can let the referring doctor know immediately, and the system does all this automatedly with artificial intelligence, augmenting of the process, so the doctors don't have to spend a lot of time clicking a bunch of buttons and trying to remember did they or did they not do things. Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, we've been able to successfully launch our commercial product as of December 1st. We made the announcement today, this morning, at the conference. And we already have one reseller in the Pacific Northwest that has 2,000 orthopedic specialists that are already being onboarded to utilize and subscribe and begin revenue flow into our organization, which is critical, right? I mean, ultimately, the challenge is to take the idea into implementation and then bring implementation into actual sales, and then from sales to market recognition, and then, scaling and growth. So we haven't reached the scaling and growth phase, but we're very excited to be in the marketplace as of, December 1st.
Right, and you got some coaching from HITLAB along the way.
Oh, they were brilliant. As a matter of fact, they frequently engage with us on a weekly scheduled basis, as if they were part of our management team, but it's all done, from an academic, mentoring standpoint. So there's no conflict of interest, of course, and they are just spectacular. The services that have been provided from a press release standpoint, when you go to HITLAB, either on LinkedIn or on any of their other media releasing formatted platforms, they have been extremely, extremely generous in providing the exposure that has been so helpful.
Mm-hmm. So, moving forward, what do you see happening over the next 6 months to a year to 2 years?
I'm moving to Tahiti.
Okay.
And we're going to incorporate in Ireland.
Okay.
Pay no taxes.
Okay. You say you got room in that thatched hut for your best pal?
No question. You are invited.
Thank you.
No. So for the next 6 months, we plan to accelerate tremendously. Our management team has expanded significantly. Mm-hmm. The number of years of expertise on the business side has exceeded like 50 in combination with the 3. Their total sales from a corporate standpoint have exceeded $1 billion. And the president and COO, Rob Holton, has brought 7 startups to either sale, merger and acquisition, or an exit of some sort by the age of 50, having started his own VC firm. So we've brought in a lot of firepower on the business side. So we were able to take the vision and move it into, a business structure that in the last 45 days, since adding the last 2, Jason Engelhardt and Stu Gold, adding those last 2 has really accelerated our process. So in the next 6 months, based on this last 45 days of accelerated business activity, I can only see the trajectory going up as a sloped curve. And we're launching in 5 different markets around the country simultaneously. And so we have to build out the organization to be able to handle that type of volume and product support in terms of both sales, initial sales, and maintaining customer satisfaction. Yeah. So all of this is something that's just going to take off, and we're 110% ecstatic at the doors that are opening through our communications here at HITLAB with those who are able to be positioned already to provide that kind of assistance. Mm-hmm.
Growth is exactly the challenge that you wanted.
Well, it's the challenge that we're facing.
Yeah.
One person once said, "Be careful what you wish for."
Right, right. Last question, and a little bit off the beaten path here. And I know you noticed this, but at this conference in particular, there were a large number of young people, college students especially, that were just kind of mixing and mingling and trying to figure things out. It's pretty interesting that HITLAB is also involved in developing the next generation of entrepreneurs and innovators, or at least showing them what that could look like, and giving them people like you to talk to get some real world experience.
The difference with HITLAB's approach as opposed to HIMSS or some of the other national meetings is that, yes, there's a sales component, and yes, there's a business side of innovators looking for investment, but there's an entirely different overtone, which is it's an academic learning overtone. And the academic learning overtone is so critical not only for students who are young and moving through, who may have an interest in developing this aspect of their career early on, but it's also very good because it allows for the education of those young people through observation, but also being able to speak at a mentorship type level. So that's why I think it's very special. And that's why even, let's say the world unfolds in front of us and, that Tahiti island, relocation is a real deal.
That 2-bedroom deal.
Yeah, exactly. But we'd have to have 2 bars, 2 patios. You never know.
Yeah. Well, if all goes according to plan, you'll be able to afford it.
Well, listen, but even so, I would fly back to the next HITLAB conference to be able to attend, because it's just so important to impart any wisdom with, any sort of realism, not just anecdotes, not just, generalized statements, but story sharing with those people who want to know and want to learn, because don't we all learn by example? Don't we all learn by following people? don't we own learn by seeing something that made sense and it caught our attention, and then we would like to replicate that when a similar circumstance evolves, or even set ourselves out on a pathway to be able to replicate it. I remember doing it as a child. You remember doing it as a child, since we've known each other since our childhoods.
Yep.
And look where we both landed up. Bunch of underachievers, just sleeping on cots in the middle of Tahiti.
You had a
maybe.
cot? Wow. That's top shelf right there, baby. Jamie, appreciate you coming by and talking today and sharing your thoughts. And let's do this again at the next conference.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
No doubt.
All right.
We'll be here.